Perched high above the city of Baltimore, Maryland, from Magooby's Joke House, comes the tale of 5 brave adventurers and their intrepid audiomancer on a journey wrought with magic, mayhem, and dick jokes. For this is Laugh Finder.
Baltimore's premier Paizo-based comedy podcast. I'm Tommy Sinbazo.
Oh, hello, Tomas.
Hello. And I'll be playing Arcane, the living construct, with my trusty monkey familiar Natty Bobo. I'm the mech of many faces! Oh, you sucker piece of shit!
You got audio, man.
I got such blue balls. I was like, yeah, Ben started it early.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there this time.
It's like every episode is like an edging video.
Speaking of which, Lou has been out of town. Lou's been out of town since Thursday.
Your sweet fiance of how many years?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been
Common law at this
out
point.
of town from Thursday to Monday, and I jerked off so much my dick is sore to the touch. I almost threw my back out watching VR porn in the living room the other day.
I ball tapped him. He fell over.
I thought it felt a little rough.
But I bought a VR video to watch because I make good money.
Thank you, Patreons.
I can't afford a pedophile island like a billionaire, but I can pay $12 for VR porn. But the woman was hot, but English was her second language, and it was like jerking off to a hot Tommy Wiseau the entire time.
So Tommy Wiseau.
She's like, "Oh, you don't want to fuck me? You're giving me head troubles." And I'm like, yeah, I really had troubles. Threw my bag out trying to suck my own dick in a VR porn.
Ooh, you want for me to put my balloons around you?
Yeah, she does. She's like, I got good balloons in here for you, babies. I'm like, babies?
Muppet babies?
And speaking of babies,
You want me to make sexy time? Huh?
ladies and gentlemen, this week's guest. Now we've been trying to get a person from this troupe. Would you call it a troupe?
I'd call it a troupe.
Okay, from this troupe on, ladies and gentlemen, from the Ocrit Improvised Dungeons and Dragons troupe, give it up for Mr. Scott
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God, I can't believe. McVicker.
Oh,
I was waiting for the bleep to come in.
Sorry.
sorry about that.
No, but you go by Double T.
I go by Double T.
Why? How's that? Why?
Oh, that was just a horrible joke gone wrong. So
That's why. That's Brian Foreskin there.
Yeah.
nobody calls me that.
We do
I
now.
thought it was obvious looking at you, to be honest. But then we're gonna start calling you Harvey Weinstein. That's my second name. Thanks.
Yeah. So why did they start calling you Double T?
So a while ago, about 8 or 9 years ago, I tried out for the Comedy Pigs. Didn't make the Comedy Pigs, but there was like 5 or 6 of us who they thought had enough talent to like kind of train and maybe come up through the minor leagues. So there was another Scott that was part of the comedy. That was part of the.
Was he a black guy and they didn't want to call him Black Scott?
He was not a black guy, but I called him Black Scott anyway. And that got really awkward. So we're at a troupe called the Pig Farm, and it was just one of those stupid things. It's like, oh, how are we going to tell the Scots apart? And I was like, oh, mine's the one with the double T. And it's just horrible joke, and unfortunately, it's stuck. So
I worked at a company once, and there were 3 guys named Mike before they hired this new guy named Mike. And so at that point, you have to be careful whatever you say, because that's just going to become what you get known as. And he used to he talked in bumper sticker. Like everything out of his mouth was something you would have seen on a bumper sticker. And if you asked him where a piece of equipment was, he would be like, well, if it was up your ass doing flutter kicks, you'd know it. And so we just started calling him Flutter Kicks, and he hated it. He hated it.
That's really just karma.
Yeah. Well, that's how nicknames work. Nicknames are names that you generally don't want, right? Like we had my nickname growing up was Easy, and they called me Easy, and it was just because I went to football practice one day and I was listening to Eazy-E the first day I showed up, so I was just Eazy-E, the whitest of white people.
Uncreative.
But I mean, it's kind of a cool nickname, I guess. I
Yeah.
could have been.
Oh, yeah, no.
It later became Lazy as when people found out I was easy, but I was also fat. They were like, "Fuck you, you're fucking lazy now."
Oh, and
then
that guy got high fives. I
Yeah,
was
and
like,
then they're like, "That's so much better, hell yeah!" And then it made me work harder to show them.
So Double T, tell it, what is O-Crit?
O-Crit is a long-form improv troupe. So I'll give you the short of it.
I used to, Dorian and I, we used to do improv
Yeah, we used
together
to.
in mob television. We did
Short form, long form?
well, either or. We would do a couple heralds.
Okay.
And then we did improv games all over.
Okay.
All sorts of things.
So it is basically a unique style. So it's about a 45 to 50-minute show. The way we start out the show is we give character and class cards to the audience. So
Okay.
it'll be like, fighter, gnome fighter, or something along those lines. So we give the cards out to the audience. Each of the members who are playing get a card. And then we have a suggestion written on, or actually a suggestion from the audience that they write down. So, for the February show, it was name a magical place that you would take your date or something along those lines.
Okay.
So each of the characters go aheads, that's great language, reads off I'm a human human mage whose favorite place to take a date is Double T Diner. So we go through. Yeah, I can't.
Way
Yeah,
to plug your
I'm
family.
great at improv, by the way, as you can fucking tell. So each character does that. Then, based on audience applause, whoever gets the most applause, that's the character that starts out the monologue and starts out the story. And then we revolve around the story around that person. So we have a couple other things that goes along with it as well. One, we have a DM.
Okay.
So the DM does a very basic version of the rules. So DM just rolls a dice. And basically, we play if it's lower than 10, it's a fail. Above 10, it's a success.
Okay.
If it's the closer to 1, the worse the scenario is. And of course, our group name is called O-Crit. So, critical fail, critical success, and we play off of that. And sometimes we'll make fourth wall breaks in reference to, I'm sneaking around the corner, and I'll look at the DM like, hey, am I going to successfully sneak around? Especially if he's not paying attention. We do mock battles, when we're trying to kill each other, stab each other, stuff like that. And the DM will do rolls for that to determine how the story plays along.
That sounds pretty awesome. And how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been doing it for 2 years. And actually, I want to throw out one other rule, which is actually my favorite part. We give the audience 2 death balloons.
Okay.
So at any time, the audience can, whoever has death balloons can pop it, and immediately a character dies on stage.
Jesus.
You actually used to smuggle death balloons across the border.
Yeah.
Wait, so
You just
death
see an audience
balloons-
member go, and their mouth foams. And that's how you know the
talk
balloon of
more
heroin.
about the death balloons. I'm getting my pencil.
No. No ideas.
Well, Death Balloons was also my other nickname in high school, guys.
That was also my favorite song by Nina.
9 sick death balloons raining down Chernobyl blood. That was fun.
Cool, great. Thanks, Eric.
I did, that was a solid riff, guys. That was a solid riff.
toten balloons.
What? Yeah.
Kinda.
Why? Do you need it? If you can find another way to take the top part and keep our timer up there.
We just need to see our timer. We'll figure
Oh,
it out.
Ben will figure it out.
We
Yeah.
got this worked out.
This
Cool.
is good.
Thanks for bringing the show to a grinding halt. I really
Appreciate it,
that.
Matt.
Can't wait for you to never be on the show.
Matt Brown is somebody who we've always wanted to be on the show, but he hosts the show here so that me and Brian can be on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's we love you though, Matt.
Yeah, we
Deep
do.
Down.
And check out Matt's new podcast called The Last Ditch.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
your podcast? The Last Ditch.
It's on iTunes.
Can I be on it?
No, because you have to be here.
Yeah. no,
Never
yeah.
mind.
So how long have you been doing improv?
The group has been doing improv for about 2 years. I've been doing long-form improv for about 8 or 9 years.
Okay, where'd you start out at?
Started out trying out for the Comedy Pigs. Actually, I started taking a class.
What is the Comedy Pigs?
Comedy Pigs is the Maryland Ensemble Theater in Frederick, Maryland.
Okay.
I was going to say it's made up of only first responders.
Because around here it was big. When we started, the only improv troupe in the area was big and mob
Yeah,
television.
Baltimore Improv Group.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And that now Baltimore is an improv town.
Yeah, it's exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we come up here for, I think it's the Charm City Comedy Fest. We've come up here, I think, about 2 or 3 times for that, and we'll run like a 20 or 30-minute set at Zissimo's, and that is an absolute blast. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Met is, Comedy Pigs is just the Met's short-form improv troupe. They do some long-form stuff. I think they've been doing it, I don't know off the top of my head, I want to say 18, 20 years. Nice. That's where I got my first taste, where I saw it live, other than seeing it like, whose line is it anyway?
Did you ever go to Chicago for Chicago Improv Festival or anything?
I have not been up there. I know the Comedy Pigs have gone up there, and I know a lot of them are trained at different various places.
It was good times. It was good. I went out with our improv troupe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's, speaking of Chicago, this next guy is a real deep dish. Ladies and gentlemen, actor, comedian, singer, and professional nudist, Mr. Eric Woodward.
Oh, yeah, Daddy. I'm back once again.
What hard times are, Daddy?
Reprising my role as Big Flea, a gunslinger, a gambler, and a dubious scoundrel of the highest order. Hey guys, welcome. I'm back again.
Did you leave?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've been apart for so long that now we're back together.
It's 2 weeks.
But it's
and I saw you on
eternity. Well,
I saw you 2 days ago.
I get a sobriety anxiety.
He gets sobriety anxiety.
I get sobriety anxiety. You know what I'm talking
Those are
about,
called
man.
the shakes.
You see what I'm nudging at? So yeah, there are a lot of what has happened since now and then. There's stories to tell. You know,
did we do a murder mystery? No,
we did do it.
Did we?
No murder mysteries. We did shows though. We went up places, you and me.
Yeah, we went to Justin Schlegel from 98 Rock. We performed with him in his neighborhood.
Pretty dope. That was pretty dope. Oh, listen. I have a fun story. Here we go. Okay, so, I was hosting. I was supposed to host for John Lovitz. I think I mentioned this on the show earlier. Wednesday comes around, and Andrew, the owner of this club, tells me that, hey, this is a weird request, but John Lovitz has requested that somebody come pick him up from his hotel, bring him to the show. And I was just like, all right, I'll do maybe just Thursday, because I don't want to marry myself to doing this a whole weekend. That sounds like insanity. What if he's a horrible person and he hates me?
Yeah, he just
and
shits
it's
in
awkward.
your car.
He just shits in my car, and it's a long drive
Clean
there
that
and
up.
back.
And
he's
I've
like,
defecated in your vehicle.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it stinks.
Yes, exactly. So I got to. I'm ready, and it's Thursday, and I'm like, all right, just want to confirm I'm picking this dude up still, because I didn't get an email back, and he was just like, I kind of messed up. There's only 2 people on the show. So I went from going to pick John Lovitz up to being off the show completely in less than 24 hours. But Friday night rolls around. I had to go host the Late Show. I got to be the voice of God for John Lovitz. He didn't give a fucking shit. We had 0 interaction. We had 1 interaction. He walked by me and went, like this. That was it. But he was but I had to host the new talent competition. Now, our guest last week, Josie Marcelino, was in the competition.
I think it's Marceliana.
No one knows.
Let's fix it again.
She's so mysterious.
Marceliano. So it comes down to this one comic and our Josie, who was on the show last week. They made the final 2 people, and the way it is like crowd response, right? You go like this, cheer for this person, cheer for that person. And when I tell you it was neck and fucking neck,
Yeah, and
it is
Josie
neck
brought like
and
25
neck.
people.
She brought a shit ton of people, but I'm telling you, the guy who she was up against, he fucking crushed it though. He had a good ass set, and she had, I'd say, a strong set. Anyway, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't know who to fucking pick right now. Like, I'm listening to the crowd response on both sides.
Hey,
and
Josie
it's
has a
fucking
good set.
tough. She's got a huge set.
Yeah.
Huge. She had the biggest
Huge
set.
tracks of jokes.
And I ended up going to the 3rd place. I was just like, who do you think is the winner? And I completely did, and she picked the other guy. So Josie has now lost the competition for like the 5th time in a row, and I had to slump off as somebody who actually I know, and I was like, sorry about that. Which was it was an awkward situation, to say the least.
And then the next morning, I want to tell this story real quick. the next morning after, because I came out and to watch and hopefully perform so that I wouldn't be the only comedian at the table that she hasn't performed with, and then she would respect me.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't think Tommy's funny. Have we talked about this? We haven't talked about this on the show, right? Okay, look. So she messaged me about how funny I was on the show. So I'm up here, me and Brian and Dorian, we're the funny people on the show.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you've listened, right?
And I just want you to know she thinks Tommy is on the same level with Patchen over here. And
why were you looking at me the whole time?
And
Whoa, don't say the Ben word.
Because I was trying to think of your name, Ben, as I was looking directly at your face. So you're just as funny as Tommy, man. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's not how I took that.
It's a huge compliment.
How does it feel?
So 2 weeks in a
How does it
goddamn
feel?
row.
I feel like Jim.
Whoa.
Which, you know,
Okay, let's...
But ever since I've told this, which is only partly true, she just has never seen Tommy perform. He's obviously, you guys know he's fucking hilarious. But now Tommy's made it his goal to try to perform in front of our guests so he can prove that he's the funny one out of this.
Yeah, so I can mispronounce her first name.
So I have been orchestrating it to getting him close, but then making sure it doesn't happen.
So anyway, the very next day, I went and did a podcast for, if you guys are listening to this, you guys got to check out the podcast, Why I'm Single, where it's two heavily tattooed women, and they talk about just dick pics and horrible relationships. And it's really local and heavy Baltimore accents. And it's really good. But one of the hosts couldn't fill in, so I was asked to fill in and bring levity to the situation. And she was like,
such a good.
She was like, oh, our guest has such a crazy story. And so I was like, okay, this will be easy. So I get there and I meet her, and she's telling a story where she's like, where she was like, well, I met a guy on Plenty of Fish, and then I went over and I had sex at his house, and then I ended up moving in with him, but it turns out he was a white supremacist, and
Hilarious.
Then I told off some of his friends
That's
on the
such a good
internet,
bit.
and they came to the house to teach my white ass, to teach my woman mouth a lesson or whatever, and he held him off on the front porch, and they put him in shock trauma, and I was like, then he had brain damage, and I was like, did he ever say in his brain damage that I only hate two things, gingers and my dyslexia?
Good ass joke.
And no one laughed. Matter of fact, I was told, yeah, we'll have to cut that out.
Really? Holy shit.
So then she starts telling another story, because this happened this past week where she's moved out now, and now she's living in a graveyard in a
What?
house. You got to listen to the episode.
I'm going to tune in.
But she...
Wait a minute, she lived in a graveyard?
Yeah, she moved out of there looking for an apartment.
The graveyard was the upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, she was living
We're
with him.
moving on up.
She decided she was getting a divorce and moving out, and she was like, so I was in a graveyard. Like,
As you do.
all right, sure. And
As every girl who owns multiple...
masturbating.
All those girls that own all the every figurine from The Nightmare Before Christmas do.
So, but she said that there was a house in the graveyard, and she looked in the window. There was no furniture, so she looked up the property information, found the owners, and the owners were like, yeah, it's actually for rent. We'll give you the name of the management company. And she moved in this past week into this house in a graveyard.
What graveyard?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Is it Loudon Park? Does that ring any bells?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh, she got the Loudon Park
Guys,
graveyard? That's a
package.
nice graveyard.
All right,
That's
spoiler
that
alert,
is like,
guys.
Mausoleum.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I didn't care what fucking graveyard.
All right. No, I used to hang out with this
Dude,
guy that
some
like
of them
lived
are
in a
like-
house on a graveyard. That's,
Yeah.
some of them are like Return of the Living Dead. That's like a phantasm graveyard. That's
But
nice.
so she started telling this story. She was like, yeah, so this past week, she was like, so I went through Ancestry.com and found out that my biological father wasn't my real father. That my mother had an affair while my real father was on an oil rig. She went down to Houma, Louisiana, and had an affair with this guy. And I was like, oh, so he was a homosexual. And she was like, he passed away this week. And I was like, oh.
I guess you're home alone.
Yeah. And I was like, well, maybe at least your mom was like getting it in, huh? Your mom was getting, while your dad was on the rig, she was getting drilled, And she was like, well, she doesn't remember the relationship because of all the electrical shock therapy that she had. Oh, God. So if you want to listen to me bring conversations to a screeching halt with my joke, it's like if they bring in Robin Williams on an episode of Donahue or something, or Dr. Phil, where the kid's like, my mama, she used to touch my dick. Like, oh, someone touched my dick.
Ooh, I remember when my priest touched me. He was like, "Do you believe in Jesus?" Oh my God!
Praise the Jesus. And speaking of praising Jesus, this
God.
next man, I don't know, he's got more skin than the foreskin. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Preston.
Priest touch my rump. Priest touch my rump.
Yeah, I'm always afraid when people they're like, oh, I met, because sometimes I'll be places, people will be like, oh, I met someone that listens to Laugh Finder, blah, blah, and I'm like, oh, cool, that person knows all about my dick. This isn't awkward at all. I guess my one fun story from since last time I recorded, I got my arm a little bit fucked up on Tuesday. Here's what happened. So I'm out. I come do the show here, hang out with a buddy of mine, then we go to do karaoke after that. I'm out and about. Some chick comes up and she's like, hey, I know you. I was on a date with a different stand-up comic. You're much funnier and better looking than him. And then my one friend started chatting up her friend. We're all hanging out. Anyway, she gets talking. Apparently, she works with development.
Tell me she was talking about Tommy Simbazo also.
Her name was something.
It's just good to be in the
something.
conversation.
Anyway, so we're out there hanging out. Apparently she works with developmentally challenged kids, and so
Sick bit, lady.
sick bit, exactly. And she's like, well, anyway, a lot of times there are like a lot of them are adults and like whatever on the internet, so like a lot of times you got to watch out. They just sort of like shit, piss, cum, etc. at you, stuff like that.
I did legit laugh at that.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
the thing.
awesome.
It's like teaching on the
That's
set
so
of Double
tight.
Dare.
Exactly, instead of like they're just like, oh god, what is this nose full of?
Except no one's going to space camp.
No, well, they're already there. That's what they call it. But anyways, we're out there. I'm kind of drunk.
Every time
and
somebody throws up, everybody dives in it to find the flag.
pretty much. So she's telling me some story about like one of the kids who apparently kept mispronouncing bukkake, so she had to explain that what that was about the people that she worked with, because like none of them know, but like all the kids, they can look whatever on the internet, and they don't have shame like normal people. And so like there's like explaining, what bukkake is. Anyway, things do take a turn, and she's just like, well, here's how I restrict the kids if one of them tries to attack me. And she just grabs my fucking left arm and puts it in some sort of move, and she's like, now try to fight out of this. And that's how I hurt my arm.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Oh, all right.
That's kind of badass.
Yeah.
I used to be that guy that anyone that ever knew any martial art would be like, hey, let me see your arm.
Yeah, no.
And it took like a good maybe 5 or 7 years before I was like, no.
This was like a not large woman
I
that
would
was
prefer
doing this.
not to.
I roomed with a wrestler in college, and your flinch response becomes so strong because they're like, hey, let me try something. And you're like,
No.
after September, you're like, no, you can never touch me. Bad touch.
Yeah.
And speaking of bad touch,
Damn right.
this next guest is getting it on like they do on the Discovery Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, filling in for our own Aaron Woodworth, another radio rock
Aaron
god.
Woodworth.
Wait, what?
Did you guys do the fucking Petard?
Did I say Aaron Woodworth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Aaron
Uh-oh, I predicted the future.
Oh!
I just shipped you two.
Oh, man. What a cliffhanger.
He looks like a cuddler. I'm down.
Yeah, ladies
Welcome
and
to
gentlemen,
Out of the Blocks with Aaron Woodworth.
put your ears together for Mr. Patchen Mortimer.
Or as this dimension knows me better, Aaron Henkin.
Yeah.
The Mo Better Aaron. So how you been, Patchen?
I've been good.
What you been up to?
I've been writing for Pathfinder
Oh, really?
Oh.
For what? For the second edition?
and the first edition. I might have even brought props.
Mad
A watermelon.
So so I'll hold that up.
Oh, man.
That one came out in April. It's The Last Watch. Larry Wilhelm wrote the adventure, but if you go inside, you'll find a article about the negative energy plane written by me.
Nice.
With all sorts of with all sorts of evil crystal gargoyles and things that
shit.
want to like destroy all of existence.
What if you're like,
That's right.
someone else wrote the adventure, but on the very back page, there's a maze that I drew.
Welcome
Hope
to
you like
freelancing.
Sudoku.
That's actually in Starfinder. Literally, the last page is, "Hey, I made a planet." So, that's
What
my
are you,
aspiration.
Mormon?
So, but yeah, and I've also been writing for Pathfinder 2nd edition. So, I think I just unplugged myself by accident. So, the new edition comes out end of July, start of August. I think during Gen Con, you're going to have a new core rulebook and the bestiary, and they're going to be awesome.
Oh, they're both going to be out.
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Again,
I mean,
I'm a Pathfinder freelancer. Don't officially work for Paizo. My information, take it with a grain of salt. But I believe
That's all right. Paizo never listens to us anyway.
I believe at Gen Con we get you get the core rulebook and the bestiary. Then a little time after that, you're going to get the Lost Omens World Guide, and that's basically a revised edition of the World Guide, which has all new information, and some things have changed in the Undersea region. There's been climactic upheaval. A lot of the adventures, if people have been playing the adventure paths, those are assumed to have happened, and so there's been fallout from that. They've also really expanded how they talk about the world and how they give you a place in it. Particularly in the southern continent, it's much less like an exotic place to visit. It's a place you can be from. They're doing a whole lot to like make things more inclusive and diverse for people to choose from and explore.
I can't wait to be from the southern continent and call people Yankees.
Yeah.
I do declare.
So
when Lou was out of town, speaking of which, when Lou was out of town, she went to Savannah, Georgia, and everyone there was like, "Oh, was you the Yankee?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No, Lou. Maryland is a southern state. We're just the northernmost southern state."
Right. We're below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were a slave, you didn't stop in Maryland.
No.
So I was in Savannah, and
I made it. Shit.
we had an Uber driver who like was kind of an amateur historian. So we're driving to the bar, but he's telling us like all this stuff about, oh, and this cottage there, and that mansion there, and that
Meanwhile, you're
mansion
throwing
there.
up out his
And I'm
window.
like, and he's like, he's like, and you know, one of the reasons that like Savannah is so beautiful is one of the only towns in Georgia that like wasn't burned down by Sherman. And I was like, I bet I could pick up the spare. And he didn't appreciate that.
So questions about the next edition, second edition.
The thing I want to
Yeah,
tell
go,
you about
yeah, go.
that I think is really exciting is I think people are really going to dig the new character creation. They're doing this thing. It's basically ABC creation. It's going to be ancestry, which is basically your race. Your background, that's new. You can sort of pick something like sailor or street urchin or gladiator or whatever, and then your class. And what I think is really neat is that once you add that background, it really gets you to story faster. So if you say like, you know, elf wizard, that's kind of a generic thing. But if you say elf sailor wizard, suddenly that's a unique character. That's like you've got.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw a drag performer perform as an elf pirate wizard.
There you go. And like, and if you say something like, if the combination's unusual, like elf street urchin wizard, well, like wizards have to have a spell book, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a street urchin, like, how did you get your spell book?
Hey,
Is that
what's
like,
going on? My name is Mario. I'm a wizard plumber, and I've been cleaning out the latrines for years.
Man, mine's like Tiefling Rape Baby Inquisitor.
There you go.
Aren't all like the half orcs
just
and
like-
everything?
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
are. Yeah.
Just
I'm
like
all
my
rape
father, the rape.
I was a rape baby like my father before him, and his father before him.
But it's orcs, so it's probably the orc women that are holding down human men.
I think Rape Baby's going to be in the DLC.
No, he's trying to milk us for extra content.
Rape baby, go in the sand.
Sorry, Pathfather. He's like, maybe I can start listening again. God damn it!
I really wanted to know about second edition.
But yeah, so I think it gets you to things like story faster. You know, it lets Dorian like be like, all right, here's where you're from. Here's how you meet these guys. Like much more quickly. I think it's going to be really interesting. But the kind of exciting thing for me is that in October they're releasing this book called The Lost Omens Character Guide with 3 new ancestries and a whole bunch more class options. And I just checked, and I am allowed to tell you that I worked on it, and it's going to be my first.
Nice.
Yes. Who'd you check with?
It's my editors. It's going to be the first time I'm appearing in a hardcover. I had 2 little tiny chapters.
Nice.
That I was really fortunate to get to work on this. I don't know how much of what I wrote will actually be in the book.
All of it.
But I can,
Every typo and everything.
I can tell you.
He doesn't know how to spell restaurant.
Hey, instead of a male elf, they're just called melfs now.
Here's the thing. I can tell you that on the cover, you see a picture of a Wendigo and you see a picture picture of a Hell Knight and you see a picture of a lizard folk character, what they're now calling the Uruxi, and I can tell you that one of my chapters was the lizard folk chapter.
Ooh. And how they control our government.
Well, I look forward to hearing more when you finish storming Area 51.
Love it.
Now, speaking of storming Area 51, this next guy organized the event but didn't go. Ladies and gentlemen, the best audiomancer in the biz, Mr. Ben Hancock.
Oh.
How you been, Ben?
Good.
You got your motorcycle yet?
No.
All right, then you're dead to me.
Yep.
All right, then. And sitting behind the Laugh-Finder trifold, he's the best damn DM in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, actor, writer, comedian, Mr. Dorian Gray.
Hello, my name is Dorian Gray. I am your friend and foe to the Odd Company. I just want to make one thing. I just want to tell the listeners one thing real quick.
Okay.
I am currently writing for the next season of Laugh-Finder, and it's going to take place in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is far enough out from that I'm going to ask for your help. I'm going to upload something as far as what kind of challenges you want to see the Odd Companies face. I'm going to present some options for some magic items that are going to appear in the campaign later, and I want people who listen to help me pick the friends and foes and items and some of the challenges that the Odd Company faces.
Man, I
and
hope
so
they
you
don't
are
pick
gonna
the
have
Swedish
a role in
bikini team.
Yeah, hear that, Merle?
But yeah. So that having been said, why don't we get started?
Yeah. Am I doing it? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, you do it if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Last time on Laugh-Finder, Tommy, say something.
I thought you were going to do it. Okay. Previously on Laugh-Finder, we made our way to fight. After fighting a were-rat, we decided to fight a rock. So we made our way to the mountains where we saw a rock hovering overhead, where we were confronted by monk mercenaries that Brian postulated they may have been paying them in boy ass.
I did say that, yes.
And I found my guns to be completely useless against them.
Yeah, they just dodged his bullets.
After I shot at them, I retreated behind all my fellow mates.
And Arcane actually got a real face last time, and another face then. And he's just going to start collecting faces to actually wear. Hooray! And then a rock dropped an elephant's asshole on him. So the first thing he ever tasted with his mouth was the elephant asshole.
Him and me both, bud.
He's been regretting having a face ever since. But now, we make our way towards the rock's rockarary. Take it away, Dory.
Yes. So just to recap, Vanesh, the Lord of Screams, has resurfaced after a long time in either hiding or exile, and he is using this item called the Amber Chalice, which creates this aura that is impenetrable, and it just expands. So basically, he's grabbing more territory, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. But they are working on a magical concoction that can counteract the artifact, and they need certain ingredients. One of them is a rock feather. For those of you who don't know, a rock is a bird that is large enough that it carries away elephants as prey.
Just like my ex-wife.
30-foot wingspan.
No, much larger than that.
Oh, well, we have no exit strategy for a rock.
But the Odd Company's adventures took them into the mountains, where apparently the followers of Vanesh, the Lord of Screams, were waiting for them with some hired mercenaries. And so they fought these martial... I won't say masters. They were people who knew...
Mathers.
Yes, they fought martial
They were like a
mathers.
team of Yamchas, if we were to take it to DBZ terms.
But the Odd Company won a decisive victory. But their disappointed instructor watched from beyond and is waiting for them just beyond.
And he slid down a mountain with fingertips.
Yes.
No.
Almost as if he could slow his fall.
I don't like it.
And that is where we are. But before we get any further, something happens to one of your number that is strange to look at, but familiar to all of you. One of you melts and starts bubbling as a pile of flesh before surging upward and taking definition once again. And Red Talshu has taken yet another form.
So I want you to imagine a cherub that looks like Butterbean. Hot. With the wings.
Yeah.
And a very tight red thong.
Okay.
Arcane throws up. What the fuck was that?
It looks like your new face is reacting to hideousness.
It's just like oil everywhere.
Lots of body oil.
That is not what I meant.
I feel like my octave has dropped a couple. There's lots of body oil covered in it.
He looks like the angel from the Van Halen cover, but if he just grew the whole time since the album.
He looks like that vampire that Bane killed that was bedridden.
All right. So, you are in a mountainous area.
Wait a minute, are we going to ask this stranger's name? He's just a weird cherub man.
Oh, yes. What is your name?
I go by the name of Cuervo.
Ooh. Hey, Cuervo. What brings you here to the Odd Company? I'm glad to see you here. I know we see you just this thing turned into something else. You got any story behind you?
I have a mystery story behind me. I love killing things.
I don't like how he's touching himself while he's talking to me like this.
This is all very disturbing.
Every time I kill something, I become more oily.
Oh my God. He's so greasy.
Stand in the back.
Oh, you can move like Gumby.
I go to pat him on the back and just
All right, so you are. There's mountains on both sides of you, and you are before a trail that sort of gets progressively narrower as the rocky outcroppings become more and more imposing. The trail turns and twists, so you really can't see what is beyond.
It's on the map. It's Ambush Pass.
Oh yeah.
What a colorful name.
How else are we supposed to get to the Ferris wheel, though?
They put the Gathering of the Juggalos in some really weird places.
As you are crawling, as you are going along the path, you hear what sounds like moaning.
Oh no.
You better make me come.
It sounds like somebody cares about forced schooling again.
Listen, you can hear a half-orc being made.
It's just one person.
It's somehow worse.
Oh, is that how half-orcs are made?
Just
Can we tell where it's coming from?
yes, it's coming from just around the bend. Does anyone have healing as a skill?
I got a decent heal. I got a 8.
I got 10 for you.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Give me a heal check.
That's going to be a 21.
A 21.
They're moaning because they're hurt.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like
Roll for pleasure, not
one
needed.
person. It sounds familiar. It sounds like how someone might cry out when they've been beaten really severely. Like to almost at death's door.
You know what? I'll be honest with you, boys. I've seen bait before, and this sounds like straight up bait to me.
We can check. So we see them, right?
Yes.
I
What
think
do they
we.
look like?
Okay,
Who's
so
got the greatest movement out of the rest of us? We
mean-
need you to go check it out and then have them step into our ambush.
I could have Bobo go out there.
Yeah, that's the
Wait,
thing.
don't we
we don't-
still
we-
have that little bitch?
Yeah, we got that little bit.
Yeah, where's Christivo? Christopher. Oh, aren't you wearing him as a bulletproof vest
You're
this whole
wearing
time?
him.
Oh yeah, let me
You forgot about he's
Yeah.
he's
Take him
been
out of-
sleeping this entire time.
Guys,
Take him
I
out of
don't-
the death snuggler.
Shut up! You're gonna wake him up.
But I don't know about this. I don't want to.
Shut up, Restivo. We need you to go out and check out this prison. It's
He's right there.
it's completely safe. Now go administer some of this Neosporin I picked up in Red Point and put it on his wound.
Here's a Band-Aid.
It's just a piece of skin.
That's how this works, right?
No, not at all.
So going over to him,
Wait a minute,
you
can't-
see someone dressed in like a sort of martial arts
Gi?
uniform. Yeah, like a gi.
Like a Ryu or a Ken.
yeah.
Maybe in a coma.
Except he's
another karate
covered
guy.
in blood.
Uh-huh.
His teeth are laying before him on the ground. One of his arms is severely broken, and the bone is jutting through his bicep.
You might need to give him 2 Band-Aids.
Look like somebody just met the Undertaker in Hell in a Cell.
And
Is it Mick Foley?
both of his eyes are swollen. He can't see you.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, I'm just funny. We're over here. We're not over here.
And the other arm, which is also broken, has a pair of nunchucks.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, sick.
I'm just gonna. I don't want to be preemptive with this, but why don't we just do talk to dead now? There's no sense in beating around the
Don't
bush.
worry, guys. I'll lay on hands of lightning.
Detect magic? Anything going on?
No.
Just do a perception.
Then let's. You guys, I'll approach. Maybe some
Okay.
perception checks. Watch my back. And I'll go for a cure light wounds.
Okay.
30. Perception.
Oh, perception?
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah, I got a 29.
All right. As far as you can tell, there's like nobody hiding or anything.
Does any of those goddamn Hong Kong martial arts wires on them?
Wilhelm, before you go,
they
you
were-
can check
they
for
were cut.
traps.
Okay.
Check for traps.
Yeah, check for traps.
Yeah, he has a spell that lets him.
No, I don't see it.
Okay.
I'm curing light wounds.
Okay.
All right.
You fall into
Willem ain't no bitch, man. He's not worried about traps. He can heal himself if he gets caught in a bear trap.
Oh, here, move this in between you guys.
There should be
2
another-
plus 1 point per caster level, maximum 5, so that'd be 7.
7? Okay, so he has 1 hit point.
Dude, Jesus.
Outstanding.
Well, he ain't dead.
Yeah.
Do his teeth jump off the ground and go back to his mouth?
He's like, who is that? Who? I can't see you.
Just some friends.
Hey,
Cuervo.
why don't you
Cuervo, be the first thing he sees.
tell him we're with
can't see.
Vinesh.
Oh God!
You should.
Bring forth the oily baby.
I feel like you should tell him you're with Vinesh, the Lord of Screams, since he probably follows him. Bet you we get some.
Does
good
his
info.
gi match the monks that we met earlier?
Yes.
Okay, see. But they were hired guns, so they probably don't care that much.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I've got. We work with for Renesh, the Lord of Yelling.
I don't know who that is.
It's like Vinesh, you know, but at an 11.
What happened to you, stranger?
Is that Arcane?
The living construct. I am the mech of many faces. Nope, didn't get it. Oh, there we go. Yes, I am Arcane, the mech of many faces. And as you can see, this face looks supernatural and not like RoboCop with his mask off at all.
Oh wait, don't get mad, get mech.
I'm using ghost sound to make
He headbangs his last hit point away with the music going. I died doing what I love. Listen to his music.
He says, I grew up before I joined the monastery, listening to the exploits of the Odd Company, and when I would not stand against you, my Sifu was displeased.
So I guess he seafoos and beats it. That was so lame. That was lame. Thank you for not cricketing that because someone actually laughed. Oh, fuck you. Don't you Jim noise me.
Was that your best joke at the new talent night here on Friday?
So there's this podcast. But yeah, he's like, oh. And then you just see just like a river of blood start to pour from his mouth.
Wilhelm, hit him again. Oh, well.
Yeah, cure moderate wounds. Cure moderate wounds then.
Okay.
What the heck's going on? 2d8 points of damage.
He's probably okay.
There we go.
11 plus 10. That'll be 21.
He's still in pretty bad shape.
It's weird that he's drinking up the old blood, right?
He says, I will tell you. Since this is something you probably need to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a coincidence.
Boring!
Never mind that.
I'm just kidding. Sorry, I was doing a bit.
It's not a coincidence that you were ambushed out here. One of the nobles in Red Point's inner circle, serves Vanesh, the Lord of Screams.
I wonder if it's Barsool.
Lady Marigold does not know.
There's a mole.
Mole.
I don't like it at all.
Wait, you fought were-rats and now we gotta fight a were-mole?
Hey, newcomer, tell us who it is.
This is just what I've overheard in discussions. I don't know enough about Red Point to know who this noble is.
Oh.
Can you teach Chris Restivo your kung fu ways so he's useful to us?
Nothing will make him useful.
He goes, I know Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's better than your kung fu.
No, I meant Brazilian Jew Shih Tzu. It's a breed of dog.
Now, do Arcano ask him, like, can you tell us anything? Have you heard any?
Well, I know that those of us from the monastery, we were not the only mercenaries hired. There are others waiting beyond.
Hey, real quick question. I was trying to shoot some of your friends a little bit earlier, and they were seeming to catch my projectiles as if they were baseballs. Where can I get... Is there a shop that sells kung fu bullets that I can use against these folks? Because I'm having a lot of trouble doing damage against yous.
Oh, that reminds me. And Arcane reaches into his hat of holding and produces a vial of poison. Remember when we had that dick statue?
Yeah.
And then we opened it up and there was a vial of poison in there?
Yeah.
I'd be like, here, take this poison and put it on your bullets.
Ooh, I like bullet poison. Maybe that'll help me a little bit. Even though they were chopping them out of the air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make... How many bullets can I make poisoned out of this, DM?
Give me a gun crafting check.
All right.
Come on. Roll high. 1! There we go. Any minute now. What would you roll?
Critical fail.
You rolled a 1.
I rolled a one.
You can make one poison bullet.
Sweet. I
Well,
got
you rolled
one.
a 1 plus your gun craft,
Well,
right?
You're lucky
Yes.
you didn't poison yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's not,
So what's your gun craft?
I can't find it on this paper because I've never used it. I had to roll for it before.
Cool.
He didn't study for the test.
I didn't do anything like
Negative
that.
1 bullets.
I didn't think he would ask that, if I'm going to be honest
Bullets
You
with
have
heal
minus
people.
4 bullets.
you. Well, let's throw
wasted-
these in the trash.
Wasted bullet.
I'll just
He
get,
goes to pull out his gun. They pull down a storm drain.
I'll get away with my one, I guess.
They turn into the bullets from Roger Rabbit. They're like, well, I'm out of here. You wear that away.
Son of a bitch.
So he tells you that, and then he says,
Oh, it's a +4. I'm sorry. There, I found it.
Okay.
Finally. There you go.
Oh, no, not a 4.
so he says,
It's a trick.
beware, my Sifu. He's more dangerous than he looks. And I should point out that he looks pretty dangerous.
Why? Why?
He has abilities that I cannot comprehend. I've seen him vanish from one space
Uh-huh.
and appear in another.
Do you mean magic? Does he have magic?
Maybe.
Does he do stuff like this? And Arcane's just going to... I'll use Dimension Door, but I'll fall straight back, and when he hits his own shadow, he goes through it and then pops up behind the guy. Like this?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, it's an old trick. Smoke and mirrors, baby.
Holy John actually had to just get his one thumb and then make it look like he's just doing like this little pull apart shit. But he can actually do it well, not like I'm doing it.
And
right
the guy's
now.
like, you truly are powerful.
I think there's something behind your ear. And then I'm gonna go for the quarter, but then it's actually the guy's ear because he's all fucked up.
He says, the nest lies just beyond. They knew that you were coming here.
What, you guys want to rest up here?
Yes, I
So we'll
do.
rest with this guy.
Okay.
We'll build him a little shelter.
Yeah.
Do we have a spare tent or can we string one up with a tarp?
Yeah, I mean, the weather is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like you need, like, shelter.
Oh, okay.
Like, even at night, you'll be fine.
Hey, listen, you can hear us burning him.
Yeah.
We're so bad at first aid.
Restivo, spoon him.
You have to be nude to share your body heat.
Yes.
You know you love this for Steve-O.
I love it so much. Thanks.
I've never felt more safe and secure.
This is for the Robert De Niro.
All right, so the night passes. Fun. Just this is a totally innocent question. Who's standing guard?
This motherfucker doesn't
Yeah, me,
sleep.
because I don't sleep.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there touching my face.
As you
All
do.
night long.
While he's touching his face, someone's slowly erecting a ballista behind him.
Oh, man, what's that going on behind me? I sure am engrossed in this activity.
Pardon me?
That Dorian's rolling to see how many lightning bugs there were.
Have we officially healed up? That's what
I mean,
Not
you
yet.
have enough spells that you could, like,
Yeah,
heal everyone
let's just
up.
say I healed everyone up
There we go.
Yeah,
Shit
let's just say that.
with a burst.
Yeah. No, I mean,
bursts.
yeah, we'll want to be healed up.
I mean, I just feel like whenever we stop to camp, if we're not healing, isn't that's on us, right?
We're not healing, we'll be squealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I will help you in any way I can, but I cannot stand against my Sifu, even with what he did to me.
So, when you say he vanishes, is it almost like he's, I don't know, dancing with the shadows?
Oh,
What?
no, it's some other obscure technique.
Does
that-
he have to, like, do a jutsu?
Yeah, you're
Like
thinking
Naruto?
in the right direction.
Does he ever do sexy woman jutsu?
He can
Yeah,
actually
it's not-
only do it when it's like a completely dark thing, and it looks like there's hands that are carrying him across places.
Yeah.
It's like 10 people.
This master goes, hey, what's that?
Hey, real quick question. But you boys don't serve the Vinesh, the Lord of Screens. You hired guns for someone, correct?
That is correct.
Well, let me tell you, how much does it cost to render your services, or are you guys real stern about finishing out a contract?
Well, yes, law is at the core of our tenets. We will not betray a contract, which is why I decided not to stand against you in the first place.
Now, would
What's-
you say that you have a good fighting skeleton inside your body? What? Is that a rude question?
It's a little weird.
Let me ask you a more important question. Would they harm you to get to us?
Then look what they
He fucked his ass up. Look at him.
He says, well,
Serious question.
Are you gonna put him in the battle snuggly? Is that it?
in the battle, Snuggie,
How about we sew him to Restivo, sort of
just-
a human centipede?
you're just
type
going to
thing.
treat him like that woman in Austin Powers.
I'm literally the nanny for the rest of this adventure. I just carry two grown men.
Oh, Vanessa, you're gonna die. But as the fire crackles, you hear a loud cry as everything goes shadowy dark, and you look into the night sky, and it just for a second becomes eclipsed by the gigantic flying monster that flies overhead.
Oh, cool.
We should have camped under a tree.
And then it shits on us. So is it landing? Like it's
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's off to do something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's off to do something.
What's the terrain around us?
The terrain around you is there's a few shrubs here and there, but it's mostly rocky, just like that, like the foot of a mountain area. Think Death Valley, but like more rock than sand.
So no place for cover, no place to go to.
Well, if you continue along the trail, it twists and turns, and there's walls to it, so there's cover in that sense. But where there's enough space to camp, not really.
I mean, the feather we have to get, it's got to be a feather. It doesn't have to be, like, plucked from a live rock, right? We can just
No.
get one from its nest.
Yes.
So the rock flying, doing things, that's a good thing.
Obviously, you don't give a fuck about experience points. I'm sure it's the equal amount of experience points to get a feather than to kill a monster.
That's pretty sick. Well, what's our next move, boys? Are these? It's completely dark. That thing flew over us.
Oh,
can we
you guys
see-
can't see?
Oh, I can.
I took dancing lights.
Okay.
So Arcane will be like, and like these three almost like drone pods come out, like, and
Okay.
like, and hover around. And
Take that, Middle Eastern wedding.
Hold on. Perception.
I send them out in front of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we see the direction the rock was flying? Or the bird was flying, rather?
Oh, it was flying back the direction that you came. What were those perception rolls again?
I had a 29. He had a
30.
30.
Okay. Give me another perception roll. Everyone. So just roll a 20-sided die, and add whatever the perception skill is on your
eyeball.
I rolled a 1, so... I'm at 1.
I have 22.
25.
26.
24.
26.
Yeah.
It's weird, but if you look the way that you're going, you're not sure about this because it's at nighttime.
I can see the dark.
Oh, well, you're a little bit more sure of this. You could have sworn that rapid footprints away from you were being made in the dust.
Some invisible cunt's running away from us.
I'm gonna do a dispel magic.
Okay. What is the range on dispel magic?
Infinity.
And
And
beyond.
beyond. You know, Brian, I hadn't mentioned it tonight. You match your microphone
Oh, yeah.
topper. You kind of look
Yeah.
like we should all do that one night, so we all look like the Power Rangers.
No, we should actually do that.
You're like the legit Red
Hey,
Ranger.
he's wearing a
guy.
green shirt too. Scott's wearing
Yeah,
green.
look at that. There's like some blue in this fish shirt.
My dick is the color of mine from after this weekend.
Awesome.
The range is 100 feet plus 10 feet per level, so,
So,
200 feet.
100 feet plus 10 feet per level. One moment.
But rolling to
45,
see
50.
if these guys are gonna still be invisible. Arcane
Which,
with
guys,
the
I want to
cool-ass
take this
face.
minute to let you guys Go to laughfinderpod.com where you can find links to our Patreon and our Teespring account where you can buy all sorts of cool t-shirts like Season 1 logo, Season 3, the Fantastic Foreskin shirt, all sorts of Brian's dick-related shirts.
Yeah, the Oh Wow one, real popular. Oh Wow, let's not sleep on that.
Eric, you might be working on a Striking Vipers character select shirt?
Yes, I have what I want it to be, but we're gonna. If you guys are familiar with the new season of Black Mirror, there's a episode called Striking Vipers where they play a Street Fighter game in virtual reality where they actually fuck each other every night, him and his buddy.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna make one like a Street Fighter select screen with all porn stars and 16-bit graphics.
So what is the radius?
You guys will like it.
The range, let's see. You can use the spell magic to end one ongoing spell that has been cast on a creature or object, to temporarily suppress the magical abilities of a magical item, or to counter another spellcaster's spell. A disabled spell ends its turn as if the duration has expired. Some spells, as detailed in their subscription, can't be defeated by Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic can dispel but not counterspell like effects. You choose to use Dispel Magic in one of two ways: a targeted dispel or a counter spell. Targeted spell, one object, creature, or spell is the target of the Dispel Magic. You may make one dispel check, 1d20 plus your caster level, and compare that to the spell with the highest caster level. Compare that to the spell with the highest caster level, DC 11 plus the spellcaster's level. If successful, that spell ends. So whatever, I think it's, if I'm in range, then it's DC plus whatever that spellcaster's level was.
Okay.
And then I have to try to beat it with D20 plus 10.
Okay, and what did you roll for perception?
I rolled a 14.
24.
I rolled a 14, but then, I had plus 10, 24.
Unfortunately, that's not enough.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Okay, so
How about I could probably track these clowns down. I got a good ass survival.
yeah, actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, I have a fun new spell I could use. Seeing as that person is invisible.
Although our DM was very excited that I would track these people, so now I'm not.
that's up to you all. Like,
okay,
any way you can think to counteract this is okay.
All right, so pretty much I have this replay track spell that I could use. Pretty much this spell allows you to reconstruct past events that occurred in your current location based on the tracks and other signs left behind. Replay tracks reveals events that occurred while the tracks that serve as the focus for the spell were being left. So if the person's running by, I could just do that. Revealing events in the order they happen in real time or in reverse, depending on whether you are following the tracks forward or backward. Although the image isn't clear enough to make out details, such as the creature's exact identity, you can also attempt survival checks to follow tracks as part of concentrating on the spell, but only events connected to the tracks used as the focus of the spell are revealed by the spell. Elements that left no trace detectable by you, such as creatures benefiting from pass without trace, are absent from the events you visualize.
So, are you going to use that to see what he did?
I mean, that would.
Yeah, it seems like a prudent decision.
Yeah, I mean, you can track where they're going. I'll see what they did.
All right.
So,
it's a JoJo reference.
So, did you want to use that spell?
Fuck it. Yeah, may as well. It's one of my. It's my 4th level. Is this a new day?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll use it.
All right. So, the images seem to come to life, and you see someone wearing a sort of armor, studded leather armor that seems custom made to blend into this particular terrain.
Okay.
They sneak up to the campsite. They visually count you all. And then ever so often he seems to turn around and he seems to be making hand gestures to someone behind him. So
he seems nice.
So he's silently observing you all, and then he's relaying information to someone behind him in a way that doesn't make noise.
This is Facebook all over again.
Do you tell us that?
Yes, I'm going to tell you all of that.
All right.
One can't hand gesture into the other can't about us. I don't know why I turned into fucking.
Okay.
Who's gonna turn me? Who's gonna turn me and this fella invisible so we can go track these clowns down and get the upper hand?
Okay. I'll turn. I'll be like, come behind this rock.
Okay, I'm coming behind the rock right now.
Coming behind the rock, too.
Please,
All right, I'll wait. Into this rag. I need it for an experiment.
please don't look at me with your creepy face while you cast this upon me.
They'll fix you, Lois. They fixed me.
So, we'll go behind a rock, and then I'll cast invisibility on both of them.
Okay.
Because you all fighter. We're gonna go win this. All right, and then I want to try to track down these clowns and roll, I guess, a survival check to see if I can track them. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go here. Let's see what we get. 15 plus 11 is going to be 26.
Okay. It's clear to you that the man was a little bit overconfident in his invisibility because he left some pretty good tracks.
He actually took a shit on the trail.
He's literally left like a Reese's Pieces trail that I've been
He dropped his wallet with his ID in
Ooh,
it.
another one. Ooh, another one.
Oh, a comedy card.
Following the trail, like I said, it's a narrow trail with rocky, almost like cliffs on either side. That gets narrower and narrower and narrower until you almost have to just inch shoulder to shoulder. And then it suddenly widens again. Like half a mile away, you see some steep mountains with another rock tending to some eggs.
Oh, okay, so there's more than one rock in the.
There's
a clutch.
There's your experience points.
Oh, okay.
Tommy.
I got experience points for counting birds.
But before that, way before that, is there's a clearing with large boulders littered here and there, and sitting in the middle of a clearing is a man who's dressed in a karate gi, who is sitting down on the ground, just sort of with his eyes closed, just appears to be meditating. And you hear a faint buzzing sound as
I think it was the buzzer.
what sounds like as his hands crackle with some sort of glow.
That body glow?
Yes.
You
So
are
glow.
the last dragon.
So
you
if he's-
possess the power.
if he's
of
wearing a
glow.
gi, then it's not the guy in the studded leather.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna throw this out here. I bet you this is a foe, and I bet you he seems pretty strong, like he got Raiden-like powers.
You think this is Raiden?
Yo, I don't know, dude. I doubt we could intimidate him, but we could set up some pretty nasty trap for him while he's sitting there with his glowing hands. Me and this fella, Cuervo here, could flank him from both sides while y'all boys maybe distract him. We could hit him in the back.
Should we grab the rock feather first?
Is there a rock feather around?
Not around.
Oh, okay. I say we try to take this guy out, but let's do this. Arcane will put up the hood on his cloak.
Hey, can we ask our
Wait,
can we
are
ask
we-
our friend if he
Are
could
we
just
all
say if
together,
that
or
guy's
do
not
you gotta
cool?
sneak on ahead?
I think we're as a group. They're invisible.
Yeah.
They're going to try and get the drop on them, create some sort of pincer type shit while we distract them, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a plan,
the
right?
best.
Yeah. What if you guys move around behind him?
Yeah, I'd like to get behind this fella and then do a gun drawn behind his head. This fella with his big
guys-
sword that we don't know what it looks like yet. and
Guys,
then-
look! I have on right now. I'm wearing the face of one of those golden-skinned monks. If I just
Oh.
put my hood up, I might be able to distract him into thinking that.
This sounds like a genius
Oh,
plan.
wait, I'll pretend to be myself, but I'll be your prisoner.
Yeah.
Classic. Do the prisoner bit. That'll always
We'll
work.
do get help.
Cuervo, we probably shouldn't be yelling this plan so loudly.
Down this at all.
You guys in position?
Arcane is made of metal. Get help would hurt.
Yeah. I like the idea of me and Cuervo flanking this gentleman left and right, invisible, and then letting these guys and you coming up with the face. And if shit goes sour, he gets steel lead in his back.
Okay, well, it sounds like a plan.
I called it steel lead.
All right, well let's do this next episode. Then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So
Will they face off against the Geed Karate Man with his magic karate powers? Will he not notice Big Slee and Cuervo? And will he fall for Get Help? Find out next time on the next exciting episode of
Yeah, baby.
All right, guys, this episode comes out. When is this? What's a week from today? What's today? The 16th?
Hold on, I'll check it out.
See, that's the 23rd.
23rd, yeah, the 23rd of this month.
All right. Well, the 23rd. Eric and I this weekend.
We just did the DC Improv.
Yeah.
And so that's over, and then
August 3rd will be
Is
at
this
the
a
Boomy
murder? Was that a
Temple.
murder mystery thing?
Yeah.
We got Boomy Temple on the 3rd. You and me. We got. I think we have Jam and Jabba on the 4th. Is that still a thing? Or
I
is
didn't
that,
look on the website. I didn't see it. I just.
Oh well, then that is
touched up my
probably a
calendar.
bullshit ass thing.
Well,
that I
guys,
put
if you
in.
need to know where we'll be,
Breakbox on the 10th. Though.
okay,
We're back
but
at the
we'll be
Breakbox
Breakbox
Theater.
in Winchester, Virginia, on the 10th. But if you need to find out where Eric and I will be doing murder mysteries, you can go to dielaughingproductions.com and look at the schedule there for events and everything.
Yeah, don't forget our sister show, the Quality Time Podcast, guys, where you can get all the latest news about movies. Currently, we have Different Strokes, The Bicycle Man, which is... It's a tough listen, and
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with this episode of Different Strokes, it's about a monster that diddles kids. So
He diddles Dudley. Dudley got diddled. You
but
should
it
have
has-
told us
Yeah, no.
Dudley got
But it
diddled.
has a laugh track, and it's one of the worst fucking things you'll ever listen to.
Yeah.
We break it down over the course of 2 hours of just uncomfortable audio.
Okay.
So
Now, what was
check it out.
There was a show, Close Enough or 8 is Enough or whatever, where it was,
There's Too Close for Comfort.
Too Close for Comfort.
And we're where Jim J. Bullock
gets
gets
raped by
yeah.
two very large, overweight women. There was a episode where Jim J. Bullock gets raped. As what was his character's name?
Mashugana.
God damn it! What is it?
It's like, God damn it!
No?
It's gonna bother me.
Fuck.
M-O-O-N. That spells
Ooh, Jesus.
Monroe.
Monroe, yes.
Monroe.
Yeah, Monroe.
And the guy who talks like this is like, Monroe,
Yeah, the further.
did you get raped by those large women?
Yeah, that is pretty much how.
Monroe!
That is pretty much how the show goes.
And he's like, "Oh, they took advantage of me."
Is he in the B-52s? Like,
it's that Paul Lynde.
They
yeah.
had a big car and they threw me in the back. They said, 15 humps till I'm dry. Hump it! Dry hump, yeah.
Glove slap, baby,
and,
glove
Hey, Weird Al,
slap.
don't steal that one. Brian, you got anything coming up?
Shit. I think end of August I'm at Punk House Comedy in DC, and then I got some other shit. Probably, most of my shit comes like in the middle of the week. Someone will be like, "Hey, Brian, someone canceled on the show. Can you come out?" That's so. You know what? Just fucking Google it. Oh, exciting news though. As always, you can check out that movie that Driven to Succeed and. Born in the USA on Amazon Prime. But also exciting news. Meanwhile, the Skullbase, we're coming back for a 4th season, everybody. You heard
Have
here-
you talked to Rex yet?
Yeah, no, I talked to Rex.
Okay, and Rex is in?
Rex is the one that, like, every time I see him at a party, he's like, so when we bring back Skullbase.
Okay,
and it's
cool.
probably like, yeah, so yeah, we're coming
Nice. Because I got to tell you, I can't do much more with my free time right now.
back. That's fair.
But okay, cool.
That's
All
fair.
right, good.
No, Rex was like, no, we're doing this.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
going to be back season 4, first couple episodes in the fucking written. So yeah, we're
Hey,
coming
any,
back.
any guest spots for Laugh Finder, guys?
We'll see. We're actually trying to get.
That's a no.
That is a no right now. We will, yeah, I don't know. Because the whole thing was Rex was like, can we get fewer people so these go faster?
Oh, okay.
Because we already cut a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Patchen, what you got coming up, bud?
I got my radio show most Tuesdays, 9 to 11, wmuc.umd.edu. You can find me on Twitter at PatchDJ. I do my blog at thedailybestiary.tumblr.com. And, of course, go into stores right now and pick up The Last Watch, has my most recent Pathfinder article.
Nice.
Nice. Ben, you got anything? Nope. Sweet. Dorian, what you got coming up?
When does this come out?
The 23rd?
Yeah.
Of July?
Yes.
This month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have some things in August that happen.
Nice. Cool.
Cool.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they were great.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're still going to Gen Con at the end of the month?
That is the plan.
Okay, and are you still going to Gen Con at the end of the month? All right. Well, you should have said something in that message thread.
I'm going to say something in that message thread. I don't know. I got to figure it out.
Okay. And Steve, what do you got? Big double T.
Friday the 26th, we have down at Sky Stage in Frederick. Okrit is performing long form there, so like 45, 50-minute set.
Nice.
Okrit is also, we've been doing something actually very similar to this. We have like a online podcast that we're doing, not improv, we're doing D&D.
Nice. You guys, listeners, check that out.
So we're like second or third episode in, and once we get rolling, we'd love to have you guys.
You better fucking listen to it, all of you.
No, seriously, guys, go check it out. Give it a 5-star review.
I wasn't serious enough. That's what you're getting at.
No, I heard you were laughing.
My threat to our fans wasn't serious enough for you.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.